Very good morning, thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. We're near enough reaching the midway point of winter. It's been a mixed winter. We've had storminess, we've had cool weather, snow as well. But on the grand scheme of things, it's been interesting when you look back at the NAO. The NAO, interestingly enough, has been predominantly positive. So on the face of it, that would suggest a milder spell of weather for the British Isles and Western Europe. However, we have of course seen spells of colder weather this year, and the reason why is because we've had the Arctic oscillation that has been negative. So despite the fact that we've got, and this is something that I keep drumming home year in and year out, you don't need a negative Arctic North Atlantic oscillation to see cold weather here. What you do need with the North Atlantic oscillation being negative is for a prolonged spell of cold weather that typically would be associated with a negative North Atlantic oscillation. It's been by no means the worst winter. December wound up actually warmer than normal, but of course the first half of December was indeed the coldest in 7 years since the infamous winter of or infamous month of December 2010. What we've got, however, is it's interesting to see that the Arctic oscillation was negative during the cold spell that was seen during November into the month of December. During the first half, remember, it was very chilly, and then of course we had a significant warm up. Why? Because we had of course the Arctic oscillation going into positive territory. Then we of course resumed colder weather after Christmas Day, and then of course into the month of January as well. And look at that there, it's almost perfect in terms of the correlation between cold spells here and indeed mild spells associated with not the North Atlantic oscillation but indeed the Arctic oscillation. So something just worth pointing out, and as we go forward, it looks as if it could be very, very open to question as to exactly where this remainder of January and even into February is going to go, because you can see here it's kind of went negative, it's going back towards positive once again, and then really your guess is as good as mine as to where it's going after this here. It could go positive or it could go negative. It does, however, look as if we are entering a reasonably prolonged spell of zonal weather. Now, a few folk have slated me about the beasts from the east happening. Well, I think, to be quite honest with you, without sounding arrogant about it, I'm not being that. I think it's proven exactly what I was talking about. No cold air over Europe. So that east to southeasterly wind has had no real strength to it whatsoever. We are going to have a tug of war through the remainder of this week with regards to Scandinavia and European block and high pressure versus Atlantic low pressure that is basically stalled out to the west simply because of that block and high out ahead of it. It does look as if eventually the Atlantic will win, I think. As we skip through the remainder of this week, systems weaken as they come across the UK. We're holding on to a cool air mass, not cold. It isn't as cold as what it is now. The 850 temperatures have significantly warmed up, but you notice here that systems pushing into the UK during the course of this week weaken significantly as they do so, simply because heights are too high up over the British Isles itself. So we've got a kind of messy sort of picture. Atlantic air pushing into cooler air. We've got a lot of fog around. We've got a lot of mist, low cloud. That will break to give good spells of sunshine. Where the sun does shine, we're going to see mid-single figures as opposed to kind of near freezing. And as we continue to skip forward, it looks as if we are going to kind of hold on to this kind of fairly stagnant pattern. Now, in the Wednesday, in the Thursday, we are going to see frost because the skies are going to be clear with high pressure back overhead. So we're going to see cooler nights once again return. And then as we push towards the weekend, it looks as if we are going to try and pull something in a little bit more significant. But if you notice here, the GFS indicates that this system weakens significantly as well. So it looks as if at the moment, through the rest of this week, into the weekend, that high pressure over the continent is actually essentially going to win out, because the Atlantic low pressure systems are going to weaken significantly. But it is, as these systems coming in, it's going to produce a lot of cloud cover, mist, low cloud, fog, so on and so forth, but not much in the way of wind or rain. So that's it for today, I think. Very open to question with regards to the remainder of this winter. I do think we are going to get more spells of cold, some snow as well, even perhaps to the urban areas of lower lying Britain. But in the grand scheme of things, we don't have anything, a particularly strong signal that indicates that we're going to enter a particularly cold spell during this second half of winter. But of course, February can be an interesting month, even March can be an interesting month. But if we can hold on to that negative AO, then we at least can have a little bit colder weather in the mid latitude pattern. But in the grand scheme of things, it looks as if the westerlies are going to be the winner here. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll be back in the next few days with more. Bye for now.